Oh, hey. How's it going? Usually we run a comment from the chat in this portion of the show. I have to be honest with you. We've been kind of scrambling here for the last 20 minutes because of some things that are breaking. And all I got to say before we hit the countdown is the following. If you are a Blue Jays fan, you're going to want to listen to this. If you are a Maple Leafs fan, you are going to want to listen to this. If you're wondering about those stands down at BMO Field for the World Cup, you're going to want to listen to this. If you're an Italian soccer fan, you're going to want to listen to this. If you don't like Gary Bettman, you're going to want to listen to this. And finally, if you want some Sid Seixeiro Show merch, you're going to want to listen to the show today. It's a busy one. Hit the countdown, Azza. Let's go. Time's a wasting. Let's go. Let's go. Please.
It's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Playing on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now. Got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K, 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 S-I-C-K,
All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
You are now listening to The Sid Seixeiro Show. Powered by Sick Media, the sickest Toronto sports show. Now, here's your host, Sid.
What's up? It's Sid. It is Thursday, March the 19th. Happy beginning of March Madness day to you and yours, where everyone's brackets are the best right now. And don't act like you didn't take High Point as a 12th seed today. We all took High Point. We are live on X. We are live on YouTube. It's a Sid Seixeiro Show powered by Sick Media. Great to see you. A couple things off the front here, just from the chat. Want to shout out Hope, who is listening to our show or watching our show, going through some hard times right now. Hope, appreciate you. And thank you for your support. And hopefully everything works out for you. And I got this tweet last night from a listener named Bradley. And I'm always a fan of a compliment and a rip at the same time. I'm a big boy. I can take criticism. I got no problem with it. Comes with the job. I understand. Check my bank account today. I'm fine. I can take criticism. But Bradley tweeted in last night with the following. Hey, Sid, hand on heart, never been a huge fan. But since the return of the After the Breakfast Show break, I'm absolutely enjoying it, mate. Bradley, thank you very much. I love a good conversion tweet. Conversion feedback is some of my favorite feedback. So thank you very much, Bradley. Glad you're enjoying it. Leafs B4W in the chat. Quit bragging. I don't do this often. I really don't. Do I brag a lot? I don't think I'm braggadocious. Never. Other than like I was right about the Leafs for 9 years. Never. I will never stop spiking that football. I don't want to spike a lot of footballs. I'm right about stuff. I'm in the end, I'm wrong about stuff. But I think at times to be a little braggadocious is healthy. So last night wasn't like a crazy busy evening. Sidney Crosby came back. That's significant. The Sens, people are starting to figure out the Sens probably aren't making the playoffs. I don't understand why this narrative has been kept alive with no Jake Sanderson and very little quality goaltending. I'm not sure. But I think people are starting to get the message now in the Sens it's probably over for them. And we'll get to that later on. But there were two Leaf notes that we noticed. There was actually one that I was going to hit on eventually, which was going to be the only Leaf thing we talked about today. And today is Fan Appreciation Day down at Scotiabank Arena, where the fans are appreciated by being charged $20, $25 to get in. And I noticed this around 10:30. It was reported that one person was not going to be at Leafs Fan Appreciation Day due to the flu, and it was Morgan Riley. Morgan Riley's not there today. Now, there could be two reasons for this. One, he has the flu. I think we all know someone who's gotten their ass kicked by the flu in the last 3 weeks. Like there's something going around. It's nasty. I think we all know what we're talking about. It's a bad one. It's a bad one. So that's one reason he's not there today, which is the truth. The other reason is Morgan, the organization, or some combination of the two realize these are his last few weeks with the organization. And maybe now's not the time. Maybe. Now, I would find that interesting because it's going to be a fairly kid-heavy today down there, I would assume. A lot of young kids who don't normally get a chance to go lower bowl, that kind of vibe. So if it were that, I'm surprised maybe they made that move, but I don't have that on authority. I'm just speculating. Because for Morgan Riley to miss Fan Appreciation Day, it's a bit of a surprise, if I'm being honest. Other guys, if Nylander missed it, par for the course. Just say you got a migraine, stay home and tape something with Amazon Prime. That's the least surprising thing I would have heard of. Morgan Riley missing it, that surprises me a little bit. So that was going to be the Leafs' lead today. Eldon in the chat writes, or is Riley changing jerseys? Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. Maybe Morgan Riley's decided, yeah, I'll waive that no movement. We'll see how this goes. But then another story along those lines started to spread like wildfire in the last hour. And this, sometimes in sports, a story's printed and it takes a few days to catch on. But that's what's happened here with a piece in The Athletic written by Michael Russo and Joe Smith. And Russo does a terrific job with the Minnesota Wild. And we have the top part of the article right now on YouTube and X. For the listening audience, let me read it to you. After Quinn Hughes' blockbuster, Bill Guerin is setting up his next superstar swing. So, like, this show and a lot of other places have been joking about the Bill Guerin, Auston Matthews infatuation, right? Auston Matthews has had a bit of a bizarre go since the Olympics. The Leafs didn't really celebrate the gold medal. He celebrated it in various other American cities. Then last Thursday happens against Anaheim. No one on the ice gives a damn. Matthews is gone for the year. This has been a weird, weird year. And oh yeah, Matthews went 12 games without a goal. That's on him. I'm not absolving him of all of it. You can't. It's been a bizarre year for Auston Matthews in Toronto. And considering where the team might be headed, some completely justified speculation has been going on about what is going through the head of number 34. And based on what we've heard, no one's really approached him since this latest development about what Auston Matthews would like to see with 2 years left on his contract as captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, in the article, it reiterates some of the joking that's gone on and quotes Elliot Friedman from 32 Thoughts last Friday, where Friedge basically said there's a neon sign on the side of Grand Casino Arena where the Minnesota Wild play with the words, "Come here, Auston. Quinn Hughes is waiting for you." And it was obvious Friedge was kind of saying it tongue in cheek. But then the article that was posted earlier this week by Russo and Smith goes into it this way. And I'm going to read you this verbatim. To be clear, Friedman was joking, but the reality is there's a reason, and a good one, that Guerin didn't blow the Wild's remaining potential trade assets at this year's deadline for B players. He has every intention this offseason or next season of trying to pull off a deal for another A+ like Quinn Hughes. As Pierre LeBrun wrote after the trade deadline, this could be an explosive offseason. There's already speculation that something has to give in Toronto. Could that something be trading the now injured Auston Matthews? Ottawa Senators captain Brady Tkachuk, Hughes' good friend, and St. Louis center Robert Thomas could also be available. Then there's the New Jersey Devils with Jack Hughes and Nico Hischier, although Tom Fitzgerald has no desire to break up that core. I'm going to read one more paragraph from this Athletic article. With free agency this summer thin league-wide, the best and perhaps only way for teams such as the Wild to make a significant impact on their rosters will be through the trade market. And with most of the aforementioned top-level stars holding some level of trade protection, whether it's full no move like Matthews and Tkachuk or no trade like Thomas, it's kind of like free agency where a player would have to pick the Wild as a destination. So that was dropped earlier this week by someone who knows the Minnesota Wild and Bill Guerin very, very well and has laid dormant for several days. And now the Toronto sports media are starting to wake up to this column because it's not light in nature. There's some serious insinuations here. And the one thing I've gotten to know about Bill Guerin as a GM is he talks a lot. He talks a lot. And early in this column, what I haven't read you is a story that Michael Russo and Joe Smith recount from the day before the Olympic tournament started in Milan. And Wild GM Bill Guerin was speaking to the media. And as he was speaking to the media, he was asked about Matthews, and he realized Mark Masters of TSN was in the scrum. And the second he realized that, he started to praise 34 in a way you have never heard before, because he knew that would be everywhere. So that column is starting to make some hay. And I know from the early read that Azzo and I are seeing online, the initial pushback from Leaf fans are, well, what do the Wild have to trade? You want to know? They have all their third-round picks between now and 2029. Other than the first they traded this year in the Quinn Hughes trade to Vancouver, they have their first-round pick in 27. They have their first-round pick in 28. They have their first-round pick in 29. Now, assuming the Wild are a good hockey team, those will not be high-end, obviously. But they have them. Second-rounders, not really. Their next 3 second-rounders are gone. But it's not like they don't have some assets. Like, not everyone lives in the Toronto Maple Leafs world here, guys, with no assets. Believe it or not, you can make more than one trade if you're smart with your assets. And the Wild are still in that spot. And the Wild are still in a division where it's a complete knife fight in the Central to get out of it. Like last night, Dallas took on Colorado. It was tight. Like, Colorado's been the best team all season. I think they have one regulation win since the trade deadline. They're starting to fall. Kadri and Nick Waugh have not changed much. And Nathan McKinnon, we had TSN up because we're watching the tournament here at noon. Every 15 minutes, they ran a clip of Nathan McKinnon, who's crying like a baby about how things aren't going well. He's not happy. No one in that division's happy because they all have to play each other. And they know if they're not on top of their game, they're dead. And we'll get to the playoff format a little later on. But for those of you who think the Minnesota Wild don't have assets after the Quinn Hughes trade, you have no idea what you're talking about. None. Bill Guerin will do unmentionable things to get his hands on Quinn Hughes and Auston Matthews in the same lineup next season. Considering he just won a gold medal with those guys in Milan. Guerin was the GM. Let's remember that. So once in a while, you're going to hear, well, the Toronto media is tough. Some of the biggest bombs to ever drop in this market came out of market. Like, I love our Blue Jays core in this city, but if you want like breaking stories, you got to go somewhere else sometimes. I love them all, but you got to go somewhere else. This is one of the biggest things I've read this year about the Leafs. And it came from outside the market. Whether it's the Kachucks this week, whether it's this story out of Minnesota, whether it's all the speculation and all the poking of the Maple Leafs in this market that you hear, there's truth in it. The Leafs and the Sens are targets, and teams down south are coming after them for their guys. That is undeniable now. If you want to hide it around the guise of the Olympics, do it. Whatever your reasoning, whatever your reasoning for trying to pry Brady Tkachuk and Auston Matthews from a Canadian team right now, whatever makes you sleep at night, fine. But let's stop acting like this isn't happening. We're not joking about this anymore, is I guess my main point today. And the more that accumulates here, the longer we go without hearing Auston. If Auston doesn't show up at locker cleanout day, the fact that Berube and Nyes really hadn't even spoken to the guy 36 hours after he got hurt last week, the reaction by the Leafs players on the ice, the heat he's gotten for not scoring in 12 games. At 12:18 Eastern on Thursday, March the 19th, I can now say something clearly and unequivocally in my mind. I'm now really surprised if Matthews is on this team next year. That escalated quickly. I hope I'm wrong, because I think this team's still, in whatever shape the Leafs go into next season, however they're looking at it, retool, rebuild, we'll find out soon. I still think having 34 out there is smart, but I don't know anymore. And today is one of the more telling things I've seen, because Mike Russo does not put his name on garbage. He's a very good hockey reporter. And Bill Guerin has loose lips. People are trying to sink the Leaf ship. Leafs do a good enough job on their own of that. Now they're getting some help. Oh, doctor. Jeff has a party. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sid. What did we walk in today? I thought it was going to be a bit of a quieter day. We had some announcements. We got some new merch. Let's go. We'll hit on that in a minute.
In a second.
Yeah,
Avis Koo in the chat writes, Sid, sometimes you read way too much into things. Yeah, sometimes the Leafs don't.
Hold on.
Sometimes the Leafs don't read too much into things is the problem around here.
Can we revisit this article? Look at the picture they put up. It was the Quinn Hughes in the Canucks jersey and Auston in the Maple Leafs jersey.
I didn't even notice the picture.
Yeah, I was hoping you did. That's why I threw it up.
I didn't.
But they left Quinn in the Canucks jersey.
It's funny how they didn't Photoshop him out of that photo.
Yeah.
Like the Devil's social media people.
Right. It's true. It's so true. And then the other thing I was looking up, like Scott Wheeler of The Athletic released his prospect pool rankings. And I think the Leafs are like 28, 29. And Minnesota's at 23 because they traded some of their prospects and like they promoted some of them. But they have 2 tier 1 prospects. Like in comparison to the Leafs have one, and it's Easton Cowan, who we know can play in this league. So there's two top tier prospects that Minnesota also has to offer.
Like they also have a ton of 22 and 21-year-old guys.
Yeah, 19. One of their top tier prospects.
Let me ask Leaf fans something. In all seriousness. 2 first-rounders and Brock Faber for Auston Matthews. Do you say no to that? You are deranged if you say no to that. Brock Faber is 23 years old, signed at 8.5 up until the 2030 season, the end of the 2030 season. And if you get 2 firsts with that, with a guy 2 years out on his deal, who clearly physically is not the same player he was.
23 years old.
Brock Faber, like, again, I don't know if Guerin wants to go down that road, but how do you not ask for something like that? A young defenseman the Leafs have been dying for my entire lifetime? I'll hear that.
Too.
I will hear that.
Yep.
Now, do I think the Wild would have to do something like that to get Matthews? No. Honestly, I think the Leafs are that desperate. I think the Leafs are that mismanaged, or they might not have to. But don't tell me the Wild can't get, like, guys, you got to watch hockey outside of Toronto once in a while. I'm going to repeat this till I'm blue in the face. There are a section of you listening to the show who've never seen this guy play hockey, aside for the twice a year against the Leafs. Not even the once a year. And like it is an insult to what certain teams have done in terms of planning and professionalism and scouting to say, well, what do they have? Meanwhile, I got to hear over the last 24 hours, hey, the Leafs should really pick up Erik Karlsson. What? Yeah. What? Like, what? We're really going to do that? A guy past his prime who you've heard of before? Yeah, that's worked out real well for the Leafs in the past. Real well. So, Azzo, I guess I'm going to ask you the question.
Well, let me throw this into the mix. Then there's their first, like their third-ranked prospect, who's the first one in tier 2 for them, is a right-handed defenseman.
They're loaded with people that can help the Leafs. Now, do the Leafs want to wait the 5 years before those kids show up?
Well, that guy's 23 too.
He's 23.
Faber is the same thing.
But what I'm saying is a Brock Faber, for people that want to keep their jobs at MLSC, Brock Faber's nice.
He can step in right away.
Right now.
Oh, I had him in fantasy this year. He's been great.
Well, sorry, stop the presses.
Yes, see? That's how you know he's good.
Azzo had him in fantasy. So now we know.
We know. It is crazy, though. Like, it is making it all a reality. There are these conversations.
I mean, some of the things coming in here. They want Brandon Carlo gone the other way. Other people want Wallstedt, the goalie.
Except he's got a no trade. Yeah.
Do the Leafs need another goalie? That's an interesting thought.
And again, what's the goal for this team right now? What are you trading for?
But that's like they don't know that.
Yeah. No, I know.
They don't know that.
So how much? Yeah. No, you're right. But how much does that depend to you on where their draft pick falls, or how this year ends at all? I mean, if you trade Matthews, if you're open to trading Matthews, you're looking at a rebuild, no?
No, but it's not a matter of you open to doing anything. If he tells you he doesn't want to be here for a retool,
I know that, man.
Then that
changes. But then, okay, so what if he tells you that? What does that mean? You're full on rebuild mode, no?
No, because here's what I think is going to happen. Okay. Not what I think should happen.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I think is going to happen. Berube gets fired with cause.
I was thinking about this. Like, he needs to, right?
Berube gets fired with
cause.
Like
you talked about Morgan.
Yes.
Like, we always talk about how these last 2 years have been the worst of Austin's career under him. Like, we can say the same thing for Morgan. Like, these are two staples of the team who have had their worst years. And I understand Morgan's getting older, but at some point, the coach has to do something to help him, no? And he hasn't with Morgan.
No,
it's been 2 years of it. Like, we keep talking about how it's the 2 worst years of Austin's career under Berube. Same thing for Morgan.
Yeah, you can't have the core of your team take nosedives like this under the same coach and say everything's going well.
Thank you. Exactly.
You can't. So, like I said, here's what I think they're thinking. Berube gone. Treliving gets to save his ass. Treliving can make the argument Berube lost the plot with these guys. Came in first the year before. I think something.
Key players.
Let me finish. Let me finish. Berube lost the plot with these guys. And we were first 2 years ago. So I did put together something that looked good. So we get rid of Berube. Give me a chance. I think we can retool and be competitive for a playoff spot next year, which is all the owners want to hear. The owners do not want to hear rebuild. Do you know how long it took Francisco Aquilini in Vancouver to finally admit? Like, that takes a long time for a certain owner to get back to that headspace. The Leafs are not in that headspace. They should be. They're not. Which makes guys like Faber and like ready for the lineup guys. Like, there is a world where this kind of makes sense for Minnesota and Toronto if it gets that deep.
For sure.
Like, I'm obviously I'm hurdling a lot of things.
No, but does what you just say include Matthews telling you he doesn't want to be here for a retool or a rebuild?
I think it even is just more broader than that. I think Matthews just says, I think it's time for a change. And it's just everything. It's the guys in the room who he doesn't trust. And he's been part of that culture, for the record.
It was just proven.
Yeah. Like, I think a trade revolving around Brock Faber for the reigning Olympic hockey captain, when the GM of the Wild put that team together and is dying for star power, you can take advantage of that too if you're the Leafs. You can. Brock Faber's locked in at a very good contract. Very good contract. I would. And he's a right-handed guy. When's the last great right-handed guy they had?
It's what they've needed.
Like, great, dependable, young, like right-handed guy they've had.
This is my recollection. They haven't re-signed Hughes yet, right? Like, the window's closing. Like, they need to.
Yeah, it's still Hughes is there for
26, 27.
It's this playoffs, the next playoffs.
So next year would be the year to go all in.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So why wouldn't you make a move for, like, Auston? You're not going to wait for that final year.
The thing, there's a lot of people in the chat saying, relax, there's nothing here. Guys.
Come on.
Like, Slosh in the chat, Guerin is drunk and he's not afraid, but I'm not sure he moves Faber, but maybe. I think this is the perfect type of GM if you're Toronto to deal with. He just wants the headline. He wants the headline. Like, he wants to win, but he believes to get there is through a headline.
Right.
And so give him one. 2 firsts, Faber. You want to throw something else? No problem. There's 3 guys on this roster right now with the NHL team that are 21, 22, 23 years old. Mm-hmm. Like, youth. Roster players who are young. Yes. That's what MLSC's language is right now. They don't want to wait 5 years for defensemen. They don't want to wait 5 years for a forward. Give them one now who's young, who you can put in there and fans can get excited about and can play and maybe help you compete. I don't know. Guys, this isn't a nothing thing.
No, but
it isn't.
And you're right. Like, GMs throw this out there to make Matthews start thinking about it. Would he go there and play with those guys?
I mean, I think he's been thinking about it already, but big picture, Azzo, I think you're right.
But I mean about Minnesota specifically, right? That's why Guerin does this.
Yeah.
Do you want and have Quinn Hughes text them once in a while?
Well, everyone's texting.
No, I know.
2 Point in the chat writes, a Minnesota first is essentially an early second. Good point. You need that too. Good point. You need that too. You know what teams do? They draft and they make a good trade now and again.
Right. Somebody in the chat asked me who the right-handed defenseman prospect is. His name's David Spacek.
Who, the Leafs?
No, for Minnesota. Their top right-handed D prospect. Who's third.
But this is the type of team the Leafs would love to talk turkey with.
Of course.
Love to talk turkey with. He's out of the conference. You don't have to deal with him all the time. Matthews, like, if he's in Minnesota.
You can get a 27, 28 first-round pick. Get those 2 firsters thrown in. Because usually a GM all-in would have traded the 2027 pick.
Right.
And I think that's what that column was alluding to.
I just think we got to pay a little attention to this, guys. I know you don't want to even think about it, but none of us made these trades. None of us signed these guys to these deals. It is what it is. They're in this. Got to be a little realistic at some point. What this year has led any of you to believe, like, not doing anything is going to help? I just want to ask the question out loud. Like, is paralysis by analysis going to work with Max Domi and Chris Tanev's health and Jake McCabe and Morgan Riley and Matthew Nyes, who looks like the slowest guy on the ice at 23 or whatever he is? Like, you cannot not make major moves here. You have to. Now, if it's roster guys for roster guys, okay. That's an MLSE retool that they could get behind for sure. And you could sell it. But I think it's something you have to think about.
As a fan of this team, why aren't you examining everything? Because this team has painted itself into such a corner. You have to examine everything.
I think the majority of fans are behind that, Azzo. Contrary to what we might hear now and again, I think more fans are with you on that than we think.
And I think you can sell it more to a guy like Matthews than you can to maybe a Nylander or a Carlo, guys who have no trades, like who might just be comfortable here, or Riley or
Correct.
whoever.
Correct.
Because they're kind of locked in. They get that money. Like, why? I don't know. If they're comfortable here, then why would they waive it? Matthews wants to win. He wants to go somewhere where he's not taking the heat he is here, where he maybe doesn't have to be captain. Like, why not? And again, they're in win mode. They're in win now mode.
Minnesota.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Sorry, Minnesota.
Yeah. The best thing that can happen to the Leafs right now is Wild out in the first round. Because then Guerin will start itching himself. Like, what do I got to do? Where I need that hit, that trade hit. I need the trade hit. And then he calls you, and you do this. It all makes sense.
All of a sudden, I like that first round matchup for him.
Leaf fans, you might not be in the playoffs, but you got someone to root against. Yeah. I'm telling you right now, you got someone to root against with Leaf ramifications. Believe me.
And now you can start a bargaining thing. Like, or no, you can get other teams warmed up to this. Let LA put a rumor out there. Like, start getting a bidding war of guys who want Matthews and let him decide.
Will Self in the chat, Billy Guerin already has that trade ready to fire off. I'm kind of with you.
I am too.
I think Will has a point. I do.
J Ray says the same thing. Guerin tweaking for his next trade hit.
And Norm in the chat, I'm drinking. Norm's just having a nice cold one in the early afternoon here in Southern Ontario, if he's in Southern Ontario. Okay, stay tuned on this. But we saw that late in the prep of the show. Azo specifically saw it.
And I got a feeling you're going to start hearing it a lot of other places too
now. Yeah. Oh, it's going to be a talking point today. It's going to be a talking point today. I have a feeling.
I got a feeling you'll see.
I got a feeling on Overdrive and Kipper and Bourne you'll hear this today. Just a hunch. Okay. You know what, Azo? Mm-hmm. Before we dive into the Jays here, because we got a lot of people in the chat asking and saying, what's the deal with the Betway sign over my left shoulder? Well, glad you asked. We here at the Sid Seixeiro Show, powered by Sick, would like to welcome Betway to the team. Betway, woo! Here we go.
Let's go.
Betway. It is the perfect time to partner with Betway, especially around the NCAA tournament. There is a ton going on. Puck drops, tip-offs, first pitches. When the game is on, you call the shots. Head to betway.ca and bet your way. Must be 19 plus. Play responsibly. This show has been on the air for 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
Sure.
I don't know.
I told you, no math for me.
And how do I put this? We got some ears on us, and we got some eyes on us, and we thank Betway for being a part of this. And again, it's a heck of a time of year. The sports are just bubbling. We got baseball starting a week from yesterday.
No.
The Major League Baseball season actually starts.
But the Jays tomorrow.
It's Yankees-Giants next Wednesday, right?
Yep.
And then the Jays get going a week from Friday. Hockey playoffs around the corner. NBA playoffs. World Cup.
Come on.
Mundial.
Let's go. Masters, whatever you want.
So we just want to thank Betway, and we appreciate you.
Excited.
Thank you very much. Very, very excited because we got a lot on the menu coming up. No doubt about that. All right, Jays. There was a lot of Jays happening today, and we're going to start with an announcement they made around 10 a.m. And this is basically it. As part of the Blue Jays' 50th season celebration, 50 years this year, they're opening a new Hall of Excellence on the 100-level concourse at Rogers Center. It'll open in August. It'll include the 11 current members of the Level of Excellence, and it will be open in time for the newest member. The Jays have also announced on August 29th, Buck Martinez is going into the Level of Excellence. August the 29th. This picture that Azo has found on X and YouTube. No, go back. That's a great pic, too.
That's
I love old school Buck Martinez doing a 1430 interview. With a headset.
When you decided you wanted to get into broadcasting after. I love this picture. I could not put this up.
Go back to the other thing. Like broadcaster Buck.
How regal is that?
What a look. Buck Martinez, August the 29th. Everything. So, and there's going to be a bobblehead that day. 15,000 Buck Martinez legacy bobbleheads featuring Martinez as a catcher, manager, and a broadcaster. Oh my God, this might be one of the best bobbleheads that ever put
Triple
out.
bobblehead?
Triple bobblehead for Buck on August the 29th. So the level of excellence is changing. It's going to be the Hall of Excellence. It's going to be in the concourse.
That's awesome.
And they're opening up the area. I'm sure there's some advertising stuff that might go up there. Who knows? But the Jays, as part of this as part of this announcement, this is just me being dumb.
Mm-hmm.
What does this mean, Azo? The Hall of Excellence replaces the level of excellence, which will remain located on the fascia in the bowl of the ballpark until mid-season. Oh, that's the kind of, sorry, that's where it is now, the fascia?
Right.
All right, got it.
Round part.
The round part, yes. So anyway, thoughts on Buck Martinez and the level of excellence being moved to the concourse. But Buck Martinez, can we say anything else about Buck?
No.
Like, I've run out of
Jays
superlatives
nailed
here.
this one. Good. They nailed it. They
Absolutely.
always do with this stuff, and it's awesome. Like, that's great. No, we all wanted it for Buck this year.
For sure.
I'm glad to hear it's happening.
Absolutely. So that was around 10 o'clock.
Well deserved.
Well-deserved Buck Martinez.
100%.
Love Buck Martinez. Will in the chat, plantar fascia is what it means. No, that's not what it means. Very good.
I heard that's painful.
So that news came out on Buck Martinez and the move of the level of excellence around 10 o'clock. I'd say 45 minutes to 50 minutes after that, there was another bit of news from the Jays. And I think it was a strategic day by Toronto. No question about it. Because the Buck news, everyone loves. 50 minutes later, they released news people weren't going to love and had some questions about. And it involves a kid we've been talking about for a while here in Trey Yesavage.
We had an interesting conversation about him yesterday.
Yes, we
That's
did.
for sure.
Yes, we did.
Funny this news came out today.
So let's go into the news with Yesavage. Trey Yesavage will begin the season on the injured list with a right shoulder impingement. This is according to Arden Zwelling of Sportsnet. Yesavage reported to Blue Jays camp with the issue, which was part of the reason for his slow buildup. He's feeling better now, but ran out of time, shucks, to be ready for the regular season. Arden goes on to report this as well. Yesavage threw 35 pitches over 2 innings in a minor league game Monday. He's next scheduled to pitch on March the 25th. He could be a similar workload, could be an increase, will depend on how he's feeling. Blue Jays aren't offering a timeline for his return. So we're all under the assumption he stays in Dunedin. I don't know if he's coming up for the home opener to smile and wave.
I think he will.
But technically, he's not going to be on the roster. Now, as per the conversation that we had yesterday about service time and the Toronto Blue Jays, okay? A reminder to everyone listening and watching. If a player, specifically a rookie like Yesavage, is not on the roster, the full roster, for 172 days, then that means this year does not count towards his contract. 6-year entry-level contract. So, if the Jays wait, let's say April 26th, maybe a little after that in May, before putting Yesavage on the full-time roster, then that probably saves them burning a year. Why did I pick April 26, 2019? Well, that's the day that Vladdy debuted in his first year. And he didn't burn his first year of eligibility. He was not on the roster for 171 days. It was like 150, 155. I was like 155. I'm looking right at it. So Vladdy played most of that 2019 season, but it didn't count towards his contract. Jay still had 6 years after that, with the 6th year having just ended. His extension kicks in this year, 14 years, $500 million. So again, Trey Yesavage, not starting with the team. Shoulder impingement, super minor, not a huge thing, not an injury anyone gets worried about. In fact, it's an injury that, I don't know, because you haven't really ramped him up, might be healthy by May. And if it's healthy by May or later, guess what happens? You still have 6 years of Yesavage past this year. And the Jays can't say this publicly because it's illegal. It is illegal to manipulate service time. But as Rosie DiMano mentioned in her article earlier this week, it's definitely in the air. The only question, Azo, I have to this is young 22-year-old golly shucks Trey Yesavage going to be pissed off that this happens? Or is he going to take it like a champion and do it for the long-term betterment of the organization? It's up to him. It's up to him.
So I do want to say one thing. According to MLB.com, time spent on the MLB, on the Major League injured list, count as service days. So
It counts as service days.
Yeah, it does.
But it's not. But he's not on the roster. He's
know.
not technically on the roster.
According to MLB.com, it does count as service days. Players on the 10-day, 15-day, or 16-day IL accrue service time as if they were on the 26-man active roster, and aids into them reaching the 172 days required for a full year of service. Now, I will say this, though. What that means is when he is ready to come back, he's going to spend a couple weeks in Buffalo, I think, or work his way up.
I would 100% expect that.
Right? So, he could still face those 26 days later on in a season.
Valid point. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
That's a valid point.
So I did need to bring that up.
No,
I
it's
didn't
good.
want to look it up because I did mean to look it up. Should have done it before the show. Sorry, but
now,
because the news just broke. But
I still don't think that stops the Jays from pulling off some funny business here and holding him out till
100%.
June.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's going to be in the minors trying to ramp up to get.
Because what has also happened here, to try and continue my theory along what you just said, which was factual. He's got the impingement. He's going on the IL. He has not thrown in a game, really.
Right. That's key.
So you keep him out, let's say, for the first couple of weeks of April. He's out of sight, out of mind for now. Hold him off through May. Hold him off through June. Just keep him off that roster for 171, 172 games, whatever it is. Don't tell me the Jays aren't thinking this. No. That guy was a superstar to end the season. Mm-hmm. They're just not doing this to do it. They really, it's the excuse they've had about, well, we want to keep him healthy for the end of the season. It's a great one because fans will eat that up.
100%.
And it makes sense.
And you have the bodies right now. You have days off and you can align things. I don't know if you want to do this other Arden tweet about the rotation and what it looks like.
Well, hold on. Isaac in the chat. Great job, Azu.
I know.
Because I wasn't aware IL time was service time.
It was in my head and I meant to look it up. And the minute you said it, I wanted to look it up just to make sure we were factual on. But again, I think that helps you manipulate it some more.
I'm with you.
He needs game time before he's in the majors. You can't just throw him into the majors, right?
Yes.
He's not Anthony Stolarz. He's going to reject going down and playing a couple games before he comes up. You need the pressure of a game, right? So he will spend some time at some minor league level. But you were bang on about this allows him to stay in Dunedin at the Players Complex and work through some stuff. Again, the biggest question to me is, why didn't they just say this up front? Did they not know? If he reported to camp with it, why didn't we hear about it earlier? It takes me back to the Barrios thing.
Because it's the whole.
But these pitchers, they're just powering through. I don't know.
No, but this isn't powering through anything. This has been the plan the whole time.
Yeah. But then why didn't we just hear he was dealing with a little something?
Because a shoulder impingement heals quickly. So if you say a week before the year a shoulder impingement is there, he can't miss 3 months. What's going to happen is how many times during a baseball season do we, whether we're talking to each other or it's people in the chat, say, I wonder what's going on in Dunedin. Nobody talks about Dunedin. The only time Dunedin's brought up is occasionally during a batting practice scrum with Schneider. And he has an update on 2 or 3 guys. Yeah. The second Yesavage gets down there, no one's going to talk about him unless the rotation implodes. And this is now your rotation to kind of go with what Azo was talking about.
But just to that point,
go ahead.
Because to me, he threw for the first time exactly a month after they started reporting. Right? Why didn't we? And we were all speculating why he wasn't throwing, when he was going to throw this. Why not just say that from the beginning? So we knew why it was all being delayed. And now he's throwing, and now we hear it.
So what did you want them to say?
Well, he reported it's a short off season.
But if he had a shoulder, but they did say that it was a short off season. He's had the shortest off season of his career. Schneider said that multiple times.
We didn't know said he felt something, or he was reported to camp feeling.
But
something.
If it's not a major, if you're going to fake an injury that isn't major, because the important thing is the impingement is Nothing.
Again, for me, it's just a bit of a flag because it's happening after this Barrios stuff with the WBC. And if he didn't want to go to the WBC, would they have sent him to see Dr. Meister? Like, it was that insurance thing that flagged this.
Yeah, but these are apples and oranges.
And now they're both on the IL.
But they're not the same situation.
Okay.
One is a 31-year-old that has a stress fracture, and and by the way.
But then to your point, to Bieber pitching last year when he was feeling something like.
Oh, don't get me started. That's a whole nother thing.
He did address that on Foul Territory. Foul Territory visited Jay's camp yesterday.
What did he say?
He was just like, because coming off of Tommy John, they ask you, like, they tell you not to push it, but he pitched some high leverage thing. So the doctor gave him some advice to just slowly build up this year, to not go straight into it.
Vague.
No, but it was high leverage, and he was feeling okay. He didn't think it would help.
Did they ask him at all about why he picked up his option 8 seconds after the season ended? They didn't ask him that.
They did.
And what did he say?
Huh? Well, I mean, sorry, who was it? AJ was like, he said, he was the one defending him, and he said for all these reasons, like just being comfortable somewhere, how much that means, how comfortable his family was. And to be fair, all the Jays players they talked to just raved about the organization and how welcoming they are. And he did talk about the facilities they had and why it is a key thing, to the point we were making about Scuba.
So just so I'm clear, the guy coming off Tommy John who picked up his option 8 minutes after the season said he liked the family facilities, and that's why
No. He says the organization makes it comfortable for players, and we do have to give Jays credit on that. But he also did say you don't know your full recovery from Tommy John until 2 years after. It's 2 years after the fact that you really see where your arm's at.
That's interesting.
Yeah, he went into that a lot.
That
and
is
he said,
interesting.
like, he wasn't expecting to pitch. It seemed like he didn't think they were going to Game 7 of the World Series, because he said he put more like high leverage situations on his arm than he expected to, but he did want to push it.
Yeah, he shouldn't have pitched Game 7.
It didn't cost him the game, dude. So I don't know. I don't want to
cost him the game. He gave it the game-winning home run.
Oh, who?
Bieber. Extra sorry.
Yeah.
That didn't happen?
Who else did they have? Wow.
Bieber's getting a walk on
the
game 7.
Should have been over before that.
Bieber gets a walk on Game 7 for some reason. I don't know why. He gave up the home run.
Yeah.
The home run.
But they should have won it twice in the 9th. Anyways, let's not get into it.
I'm seeing a lot of Yesavage in this chat along the lines of they're going to need him way sooner than later. So right now the rotation is, and Cody Ponce is throwing coming up at 1 o'clock. Big start for Cody Ponce right now in Dunedin.
Well, again, and I think Jays fans are jaded by past seasons with so much hope on Manoah, so much hope on Bowden Francis.
True. But but I got a theory on the early part of the year, and I'm going to pitch you this in a second. Right now, we're at Kevin Gosman, who's opening day starting next Friday. This is Arden Zwelling's take on it. Dylan Cease, Eric Lauer. Oh, shocked. They need Eric Lauer to bail them out again, eh? That's never happened before. Cody Ponce, who's definitely earned a rotation spot based on the spring he's had. And Max Scherzer, who rolled off the couch and is throwing 95 and doing some crazy things. I don't think you're going to see Trey Yesavage until late May. It'll be one thing after another. Now, how he handles it, I'm not sure. Because you don't go from being a superstar the way he was. Like Azzo, he pitched 3 times in the World Series.
I know. More playoff innings than regular season.
He was the closest thing to Yamamoto the Jays had.
Yep.
And now you go from that to just sit there and relax. How he handles that is going to be interesting. I'm not saying as a 22-year-old he has a right to have a serious beef, but I think it has to be said. Do I agree with what the Jays are doing here? Damn right I do. Damn right I do.
Can I add something to it?
Go on.
Even teams not seeing a pitcher too much, like that helps, right? Like they're not comfortable with his delivery style. They're not that. The more you can hold the guy out, I think it's okay. And to me, it depends on where Barrios and Bieber are at when you bring him back. But if Bieber and Barrios have a setback, then you might need Trey earlier than you expected.
Jay Caro in the chat. Hopefully, Jays get off to a great start. Imagine being tops in the division a few months in, and you have Yesavage, Bieber, and Barrios waiting in the wings. It's an interesting take.
That's what I'm saying.
But last year taught me a strong, like I'm 48, dude, and I finally realized, yeah, I am. I look like I'm 38.
It's true.
I have the ass of a 28-year-old.
Whoa, that I don't know about.
Whoa.
Yeah. Anyway.
Watch me. March Madness, making me nuts. But like, finally at 48, like Wilner was right with the it's early. Wilner was right. Jays didn't need those first 2 months of last year. To hell with it. Talk to me in June. Where are the Jays in June?
Well,
where are the Jays in June?
Hold up.
Wait a second. Are you trying to talk me off of being level-headed about
Yes,
something?
yes.
What are you doing?
I
goes
think you could
against the
lose
grain
the
of the show.
division in the early. If
I
you're
don't
not winning
know about
games,
that.
if they start
I don't know
dropping
about
games to
that.
like the Colorado Rockies, that could, dude, they ended up with the same amount of wins as the Yankees last year. I want them to get every win they can. Like this division I think it's way harder than last year. And I think like
It is hard.
you're not going to win the division in April, but you could lose it by dropping some games you couldn't.
All I'm saying to you is I learned a strong lesson last year.
Yeah,
Because if I was
I
on,
agree.
let me tell you something. If you and I were doing the show last year, I would have been in big trouble clip-wise on the internet.
Oh, dude.
Because I didn't believe in the Jays
There
for
were
a
a lot of shows that
long
would have
time.
been. There's a lot of shows
I did
that
not
showed.
buy the Jays at all for like months. Maybe the end of August is when it started to come around.
I didn't believe in them really until the end. Like at some point, I thought they were going to fall off, and they didn't.
Ray Bay in the chat. Sid lost weight and looks 10 years younger. Watch out.
Why are you reading that one?
I don't know.
But you know what? The other interesting thing, and Blair and Barker have been all over this, with having Max Scherzer as your fifth one. Because again, for the first month, you can line up things as you want. It sets up so that when the Dodgers come to town, they'll be facing Scherzer, Gausman, and Cease. I like that.
I like it too.
Right?
I like it
they
too.
are pulling the right strings. I love that.
And again, it's not like it's not like the Jays have a heavy schedule in April.
No,
they do not.
That's what I mean. So don't give up games you shouldn't.
No.
I mean, you hope some relievers don't.
Look, I think if you're a Jays fan, I just hope Jays fans relax if they get off to like a weird April or May start and the pitching isn't 100%. Personally, with Cease, Lauer, and Gausman there alone, I like that a lot. Cody Ponce, we'll see. Scherzer, I'm not 100% Team Scherzer yet. I'm not there. He's still 41. Let's everyone pump the brakes here, please.
Ride it for what you can.
Ride it what you can, but I'm not expecting Scherzer to be the second best arm in the rotation at 41. Mm-hmm. That's ludicrous.
There was some Bieber news too. Arden had.
Well, what did he have on Bieber?
So he had this continues to throw from flat ground at Jays camp. John Schneider, again, he's progressing well, feeling good, hitting every benchmark he needs to hit. Not putting a timeline on it, but we're looking at hopefully touching the mound here fairly soon.
The hell does that mean? What does that mean? He's still not doing anything real.
Right.
And he really likes the Blue Jays family room for the kids in the bowels of the stadium, which everyone loves. Great. But that's not why he signed that option that quickly. Jesus, let's be real about it.
And Jay's lineup, I know everyone's probably watching March Madness, but Jay's lineup today, they got all the guys from the WBC back.
Let's for the listening audience, let's read this lineup here. I love the old school card thing. I know we mentioned this yesterday. The Jays are doing like a Topps baseball card feel with their graphics. It looks really good. So Vladdy is back. Springer's leading off at DH. Then Varsho, Vladdy, Addison Barger, who just tanked yesterday. Did he hit a moonshot?
Yeah.
Like apparently it's still going.
I think it's her third home run of the spring.
Alejandro Kirk, Sanchez, Okamoto, Ernie Clement, and Andres Jimenez. So a lot of the WBC guys are right back in the thick of it today against the Yankees.
WBC champ, Andres Jimenez. Come on, man.
Best defensive substitution you can have in that tournament.
There you go.
Cody Ponce, though, is going to be the story today. Like now your margin for error. Like what happens if they get one more injury in the rotation?
Yeah, then they're in trouble.
What happens then? Like I don't know. I don't have a name that jumps to mind.
No.
Like they need to find this year's Eric Lauer is basically what I'm trying to say. I don't know if they have it, but we'll see. Jay Caro in the chat. Varsho batting second is interesting. I think you ride Varsho till the wheels fall off this year. Contract year. I bet you. I have a sneaking suspicion. And Varsho, from what I've heard, is an upstanding human being. He's a very good guy. You're going to see a really healthy Varsho this year.
100%.
I'm just guessing. I'm going to guess.
But there's been a lot of games this spring where he's in the 2-hole and Barger's in the 4th hole, and I think it makes you think of what they're thinking of for the regular season. You might see that a lot if they can.
Norman Paul in the chat. Swear to God, I thought you had a Justin Bieber update. No. Justin Bieber's fine. We think Justin Bieber's fine. Okay, so that's a lot of Jays here. With the season 8 days away. Wow. 8 days away. Blue Jays baseball. Let's go.
Tomorrow.
Let's go. Okay, let's move on here. And we got Azo and I took a field trip yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
We took a field trip. And and there's a broadcasting school here in the Toronto area called the College of Sports Media. David Lannis runs the school. I used to work with Dave at the Score Television Network. Dave's done a hell of a job with it, given a lot of young aspiring broadcasters real opportunities. He has good relationships with Sportsnet and TSN and a lot of other places. And
nice guy too.
Very nice guy. And he invited us to speak to his first and second year students.
He invited you, dude.
No, he invited
you took me with you.
He invited the both of us, and it was just great to speak to some people who are ambitious and reminded me of me back in the day. And I ran into some people there. Anthony Ciccione is a guy at the Score who gave me my break. Scott Hart at TSN is a dear friend. Scott was there. So some very good professors at the school. And I was speaking to them, and towards the end, someone said to me, "Can I ask Jeff Azzopardi a question?" And I said, "Here's Jeff," and Jeff got a rousing ovation, standing ovation actually. And then the question was, what is it like having been a behind the scenes producer at the Fan and Sportsnet for a long time, and now doing on air stuff? And Azzo, how did you answer that? Because I thought it was a fascinating question. I was annoyed all the questions weren't about me, but then I quickly put that to the side.
I could tell,
because I don't have that kind of ego. But your answer to that was what? How did you answer that?
So I answered it by saying it's good to do as many jobs as you can behind the scenes, because it makes you feel a little bit more comfortable on air. But on air, sometimes you feel exposed and you try and get it down. It's a matter of feeling comfortable, because you start to feel some things. Like you realize you don't have a lot of fans. Like Crooner here in the chat says, "Azzo, get off the show. You're an idiot." So
that's actually my burner in the middle of that.
Even though I didn't spell "your" right, but I'm the idiot. But that's okay.
That's my favorite. Yours misspelled.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And you're an idiot.
I don't know what I said to piss Crooner off, but you do feel exposed. People come at you, and hey, we're just talking here. We're just trying to have fun. But yeah, it's all about prep and it's about doing things. But figuring out the technical stuff and doing that can help you in this business. Like, but no, dude, I talk about your start. Like I started at the OHL running cable for guys and doing stats, and doing camera work.
That is
like
love for the business.
Like it's crazy.
Yes.
Like for local Rogers at OHL games and doing stuff. But the more you know, the more it helps you on air. And because, dude, I got a front row seat to some of the best, like Macau and you, like on Tim and Sid. And, even seeing, and then when I moved to TV and watching the TV people doing it, and like you said, just the difference between radio and TV and podcasting, like we've seen a lot of different media, like elements.
We've done a lot.
No, but like, the way the business has gone, right?
Oh, we've been there.
Is different.
Yeah. We've been there for some titanic shifts in the fault lines.
Right?
Yes. Edward in the chat, because Azzo got a question yesterday and I didn't. Clock is ticking, Azzo.
It's true.
That's a good line from
Edward. But then they came up after and they had some great questions. Like, then when
it was very cool. I want to thank David Landis and the College of Sports Media for that. It was a very nice afternoon.
It did, like after some time in this business, you forget and you see those hungry faces and all with great questions and wanting to know different things. And one of the best questions I got is just balancing work and like life and work. And that's become one of the hardest things in this business, especially when you're in it for a long time.
For sure.
And it's not about getting too comfortable, and you try to strive for some new things. And this is new, so it's exciting. Like, man, this is the most fun I've had at work in a long time.
Well,
and go.
It's amazing when you have fun.
Yeah, crazy.
So now that was after our show yesterday, and we went down to Liberty Village in Toronto, and it's around BMO Field. So that's the first time Azzo or I have been down at BMO in a bit.
Oh.
And there's usually the road, the walkway down to the GO station in that area around the pubs. And if you look south, like you've always had, you notoriously have had this brilliant view of BMO Field, just a lovely shot of the roof that covers the crowd area and the stands. And for those in the Toronto area, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Well, Azzo and I were standing on that same street corner yesterday.
Oh,
bitterly cold day in Liberty Village. And we looked south, and this is what we saw. Oh, I didn't send you the photo?
You didn't send it to me.
Sorry. That's fine.
I should have reminded you. Yeah.
Basically, you know what? I rarely do this. I'm sending this to you right now.
Yeah, for sure. So while you say that, because we're Slosh Hogger asked in the chat, he's like, okay, now merch talk now. So I do have a picture of this. If you notice the hoodie I'm wearing. Oh, and you know what? I just took it off. But my hoodie, I'm going to put myself up full. The new Sid Seixeiro Show hoodies. They're available. The link is in the description on YouTube. So if you want, go check it out. And we got some merch finally. Let's go.
Oh, we got a lot of stuff happening here. The mugs have been available for a while. So if you want the mugs, go to sickattire.com and they will take care of you. Sending now, Azo. Okay. But the hoodies. Oh, we should mention the Cavallero family from Montreal are in.
I know
town.
They come here and everything breaks loose, right?
So the brain trust of Sick Media are in the room next to us here, and they help bring the Betway sign in, and some others got the Sick Media sign. We're gonna have a ton of signs. It's gonna be like the Gardner Expressway here.
Why don't you talk about the hoodie while I grab your pick?
So the hoodie is it's the Sid Seixeiro Show. It's a hoodie. There you go. That's all I'm saying about it. Go to sickattire.com. The pictures are going up today.
You ever had your own merch?
I'll give John Coleman credit for this because he a while ago, for 8 minutes, they made Tim and Sid t-shirts. And then it ended. I don't know why it ended, but it ended. And I guess it was too hard. And we would see them pop up now and again, and everyone would ask where you got that. I'm like, I don't know. Merch isn't a high priority at Riders. And so I'm kind of happy that this is happening. And if people want them, it's great. So sickattire.com, hoodies there.
Check the link in
there.
YouTube.
Check the link. Oh, the link's there too?
In YouTube, yep.
Did you get the pick, Azo?
I got it.
My apologies. So let me set this up one more time. Azo and I are in Liberty Village yesterday. And the shot that normally shows you BMO has turned into this. For the listening audience, here's what we're looking at. A steel hell is what it is. It's the temporary north stands of BMO to get BMO Field to 45,000 for the World Cup of Soccer this summer, which begins June the 12th in this stadium. The south side is very similar. We weren't directly underneath it, but from this distance, it is an eyesore beyond belief, and it does not look safe. I'm sorry. I don't want to be that guy, but fans in Europe, you know what they do? They stand and they jump.
Yeah.
And they are active. And this is typical MLSC, how sports fans should behave planning. Okay? This is not functional. That is not going to be functional for this tournament. World Cup fans in those stands, Croatians, Italians, Germans, whoever they are, there's a chance England comes to Toronto for the round of 32. That could happen. You need to wake up and realize that is unacceptable how that looks. Because everyone who went down there on Saturday for the TFC home opener says that is unsafe. It's unsafe and it looks weird. So having seen it kind of firsthand, I don't like it. Bruffy in the chat. I trust those bleachers at BMO as much as I trust any rides at the exhibition. That is a solid comment. There's going to be a weird looking guy letting you into the seats on the north and south side.
Did you even talk about how those fans like to imbibe a bit during the games or before the games?
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine walking up that? Man.
Look, this is interesting. Yame Jordan in the chat. Does Sid not think we don't have professional standards in Canada? This is inspected properly and will be just as safe as the actual stands. Don't fearmonger. You know why I don't have faith in it? The city of Toronto okayed it. They can't spell soccer. I understand people in Toronto now starting to get nervous. You better. I've correctly and incorrectly fearmongered a lot in my life. That one is not cool. That is going to be dangerous. They will have to stop a game at some point to make sure it's okay. I'm not kidding. I have been to Europe in these stadiums and seen them in action. It is a lively crowd. You cannot just put this together with Scotch tape and hope. That's what those stands look like. So don't give me that. I've been there and I've seen it. Okay? Just because you played FIFA once doesn't mean you know. I know. That's not cool.
Read this one. How about this one from Frankie Fingers? Azo, I've been to Serie A games in Italy where concrete stadiums shake because of the fans, but those BMO bleachers are good, right?
Have you ever seen the start of a game in Turkey?
Yeah.
Galatasaray, Besiktas, Fenerbahce, any of the bigger clubs? I'm surprised those stadiums are standing after the first 5 minutes. Never mind a goal. Never mind a Champions League goal somewhere else. It is a level of intensity this stadium in Toronto has never seen in its life. Ever. That includes TFC winning MLS. That includes Alphonso Davies' goal during World Cup qualifiers, where he went through the whole team. They've never seen it. Now, I'm happy that we're going to see something like this. This is top-level stuff. This is real soccer. This is fandom at the highest level, internationally speaking. Club soccer is even crazier. But internationally speaking, this is the highest level. It can't look like a football stadium somewhere in Toronto at St. Mike's. Like, it can't look like that.
I went to St. Mike's. It's better than that.
It's better.
Because but let's be clear about this too. Like, this is temporary, right? And not that it was rushed, but this is temporary. This is only up for what, 6 games?
Temporary inherently means rushed.
Right.
That's what that means.
And so that you can take it down easily.
Yes.
After, right. And then with the wind off the lake, like, come on, you have to have some questions about it.
Listen, I understand people who are like, it's fine. If I'm in the city, I want to believe that too. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong. But I do not, like, if you're asking me if city council in Toronto can plan for World Cup crowds coming in, my initial instinct is no. Why yours is the other way is the more interesting question to me. I'll leave that there. So anyway, as when I inspected it from afar, and we deemed it unacceptable.
It literally looks like it's over the Gardner. Like, it's crazy.
You
Gardner.
Never know there's a soccer stadium there.
Right.
You'd never know.
And the view used to be amazing to see BMO across
like
there.
You know, those stands are going to move with the size and the ferocity of the crowds, right? Like, you understand those stands will move. That's the point. You're not understanding the point. The point is, I don't care how they look necessarily. They're going to move. Do you think those can hold up? With Croatian soccer supporters, do you think they can hold up? Just asking. As someone who's been to Europe and seen Croatia play in a game and seen the fan base, and there's a lot of fan bases that are very loud and very vigorous. I got to tell you, that does not look great to me. That does not look great to me. I'm pretty sure City Council and Mayor Olivia Chow don't have a handle on this. Call me crazy. Anyway, anything else on the stands at BMO?
No.
From afar. It's an awful look.
Yeah.
Like an awful look. Okay, basketball. The Toronto Raptors are in the middle of finding it, potentially. I don't know. Yesterday, they put up 72 points by half against the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
And they won 139-109. So the Raptors are 39-29. They're fifth in the Eastern Conference. If the playoffs start today, they get Cleveland. I worry about the Raptors because I don't like either of their options in the first round if they're not in the play-in tournament. They could get Cleveland or the Knicks. I hate both of those for them. But right now, they are fifth in the conference. There's 14 games left in the season, and they get Denver tomorrow night. Now, again, last night was interesting for the Raptors in that it was a Chicago team that was a little But the reality is MLSC have had two separate incidents where players were not defended by teammates. It's obviously Auston Matthews last Thursday, and not long before that, it's Jamal Shed against DeJounte Murray and the New Orleans Pelicans. And the way the Leafs have reacted to that is the most predictable thing ever. They've overcompensated, and then at some point they just got tired against the Islanders and they didn't do anything, except for Morgan Riley. How the Raptors were going to react is going to be interesting. And they reacted like pretty well. They won 3 in a row. They beat Detroit on Sunday with Cade Cunningham in the lineup. We'll get to Cade in a second. There's huge news on him. But in terms of what happened here with the Jamal Shed incident, Darko on Friday against Phoenix before the game said they had a long conversation about it. It was unacceptable how DeJounte Murray was allowed to yell after crossing up the kid, and no member of the Raptors, aside from a passive Emmanuel Quickly, moved over. Quickly showed more aggression putting popcorn in Colin Murray-Boyle's car than he did going towards DeJounte Murray. But RJ Barrett last night was very clear in what he thought had happened, and he believes a turning point has taken place with the Raptors after the Jamal Shed incident. This is what he said.
These past 3 games have been a very good turning point for us. You know, we we had a little lull there of trying to figure things out, and I think now we figured it out. We've seen what we need to do, and we've done it, for the past 3 games. So now, having been able to figure that out, we just got to try to now do that consistently.
There was a real tinge of leadership out of RJ lately, which I really like.
They're putting him out there a lot, which is good because he's a great quote. And he's been playing well.
Great quote. I love Scotty Barnes. I'd rather hear RJ right now.
100%.
I have to be honest. RJ Barrett is kind of leading from the front, and he's playing great basketball.
He's playing great basketball.
Now, the Bulls last night, like Matas Buzelis, their rookie, he's looked good, but they traded away some guys. They went tank very quickly here with Billy Donovan. But I did find Darko Rajakovic's comments afterwards interesting in terms of him trying to pump up the type of opponent that they were playing last night. Darko was going deep in his bag, deep, for Chicago Bull compliments. Here's what he said.
We have a lot of respect for Chicago Bulls. They're number 1 team in the league in scoring and transition, number one team in the league in creating closeouts. A lot of talented players. I think that Coach Donovan is doing a really good job with this group of players. And we just know that they never stop competing. They never slow down, So we had a lot of respect going into this game. And first quarter, we were able really to do a good job of with our physicality to slow them down and to make them more of a half-court team. And that kind of like set the tone for the rest of the game.
Ray Bay in the chat, Raptors polar opposite of the Leafs. I'll take that. No 3-putting in the chat. Raps may have found the car wash code.
It's a great reference.
The car wash code means great things.
That's a great reference.
Because if you don't have the car wash code, you're stuck. And someone's asking you just to fix it. Get out of the car and fix it. It's fine. And sometimes it's not that easy. But that's also like, keep me as head coach next year, Darko speaking. Right? Like,
it's coming off their best win of the year on Sunday against Detroit. Like, what stood out to me was last night they outscored them. He was right, by 15 in the first, 12 in the second, and like 5 in the third. And then the fourth quarter was 33-31 for the Bulls. But like, you beat up on these teams, you build a lead, and you keep doing it. They're not a great team. Like, why not? They had 7 guys who scored in double digits, and only 1 guy hit the Shea, and it was RJ. And RJ set the tone last night. Like, he came out on fire.
He's been so good, RJ Barrett.
Great.
Like, just like in transition, everything's been solid with RJ.
Yeah.
Every time they're going to him, he's making shots.
But 7 guys in with double digits, and Pirtles look good. Like, I think they are kind of coming together, and that's what you want is a team like this to start showing confidence. I really do believe they just lost their confidence anytime they were up against a good team.
And maybe the Pistons game Sunday changed things. Who knows? But I mean, now Colin Murray-Boyles did not play last night. I know we talked about that a bit yesterday. He missed his 9th straight game. It seems like there's more confidence he can go tomorrow against the Denver Nuggets. That'll be a test.
Yeah.
Like, I think you need CMB and Pirtle against Jokic tomorrow night.
Definitely.
I think that would be handy in the toolbox for Darko Rajakovic.
But like you mentioned yesterday, you don't want to rush him back either, where he comes back for a half or a quarter and then has to bail again. Like
Sean in the Yukon, I love RJ. But to go with what a lot of people are saying here in the chat, like, I believe the Raptors can get changed by an incident where a teammate is disrespected and there's no action than the Leafs can.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's a different makeup.
They're already in a playoff spot too, right? Like, they've had a better year than the Leafs. That'll help. Like, the Leafs aren't playing for anything. Like I said, once you're checked out, it's kind of hard to check back in when you're the Leafs.
And by the way, Brandon Ingram's been outstanding in this stretch.
Yeah.
Like, he's had thumb issues on both hands. I don't know what it is with thumbs.
And playing through it.
And playing through it. Slosh in the chat. Cody Ponce update. Cody Ponce, Toronto Blue Jay update. Clean first inning, 1 strikeout, 3 up, 3 down. Cody Ponce. Here we go.
4th starter. Let's go.
All right. I don't mind bouncing around like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Jake Haro in the chat. We should mention this. OKC were up at the half 60-24 last night on Brooklyn. How do NBA teams charge money and do that to a fan base?
But that's what I said. But that's the
Like,
state of the NBA now.
But why, if you're a fan, why? Like, it's the fans I worry about mentally in that. If I paid for season tickets and I saw that one night, everyone goes to hell. I'm done. Everyone goes to hell.
Even
I'm
if
not
you're
taking
an
that
OKC
at
fan,
all.
even if you're the home
No,
team.
no, no.
Like,
I'm saying if I'm in Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah.
I believe the game was in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I
if
think so
I'm in
too.
Brooklyn last night and my team is down 60-24 at the half,
But isn't that the
you
state
have
of the NBA?
No, not everywhere. Not in OKC.
No, I know.
Not in
but
Detroit.
I'm saying there's a big gap
No.
between the low teams and the high teams. There are really good teams and there's really bad teams.
I just don't understand. I understand why teams want to do this because they don't have to pay a high ticket for their players. They're cheap, and they might get like the best next player, whoever that is, Cooper Flag or whoever.
No, but what I'm asking you
if you're a fan, though, what is going through your head? What is actually, as a customer, would you, if you went to a fast food restaurant and you walked in and someone behind the counter gave you the finger like William Nylander and threw a burger in your face, would you go, it's a bad night for the team? It's just a bad night for the staff. I'll be back tomorrow. Would you say that? No, you wouldn't say that. You would complain and go on Reddit and Google reviews till you're blue in the face. Sports fans in some of these markets are expected to just be back.
Yeah.
And give me more of the money. The Leafs are doing that right now.
Yep.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm sorry. I think the responsibility has slipped so far away from season ticket holders here. At some point, there needs to be a revolution. I don't know who's going to start it. It's going to happen. I'm seeing NBA expansion fees.
Yeah.
The NHL are going to have some more teams soon, guaranteed. Like I see something like that, and I wonder.
Well, what I was trying to ask you,
wonder.
like since I'm new on air, what I was trying to ask you was like, is that even enjoyable for an OKC fan though? Like, or do you just shut it off at half? Like when you're
it's more enjoyable for me than a Brooklyn Nets fan.
For sure.
I just watched to see if Shea can get to 129 straight or 130 straight 20-point games, which he did again.
Yeah. I guess.
I think he did that in the first 10 minutes.
But if you didn't have that, like, would you keep watching that when they're
No.
up 30 at half?
No, I wouldn't watch that. but that to me is like a free hit card on the game board.
Yeah.
I don't really have to watch tonight. I'll save it for the first and second round because I have to ration my. You know how it is when your team goes deep in the playoffs. It's like a job. That Jays playoff run last year was like people were going to work the next day punch drunk. They were working 2 shifts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like you got to like rationing your games if you're OKC or a really good team. Nothing wrong with it.
No.
Telling your fans don't watch tonight. We got it. Nothing wrong with it.
I just think it's hurting your viewership, whether you're there in person or not.
It definitely is. But it's the in person I don't understand.
Because you're sure.
People at home can change. People at home can throw on Netflix or something else. What are you thinking in the top section?
No,
buying tickets that might now be a little too expensive for you, but you're still there. What are you thinking? I can't wrap my head around it.
Again, it doesn't spell well for the league if you're changing the channel at half.
No, it doesn't.
Right?
It doesn't.
Like I'm saying, it seems to be a growing problem with the NBA.
Joining in the chat, right? Stop the draft. Have true free agency like soccer and in Europe. I have hated this idea for a long time. I'm now edging in that direction. I'm edging in that direction of free for all. To hell with these teams who think they can get away with this. To hell with them. All of them. File for Chapter 11. Do what you have to do. I think it's now time for the strongest to survive. And if you are too dumb to run your franchise, and if you're not good enough and you can't be in business, then don't be in business. I do not care if you're in that city. I do not care if you're in that market. You don't know what you're doing. Learn how to run a business. It's still capitalism. That last time I checked, the strong will survive. In our system, that happens. And unfortunately for others, it doesn't happen. Too bad. But like this rewarding ass management is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And it has to stop.
What? And it makes the headlines for what, a minute? Like when those teams got fined? Who was it? Utah and somebody else got fined around the All-Star break? And now we haven't heard of it again, even though teams are still obviously doing it.
Dalton Varsho home run. How about it?
You kind of
How about it?
Kind of called
Nebraska's all over Troy. Suck it, Troy. Let's go. Everything's happening. Santander in the lineup today. Hyperbear in the chat. We'll have an update on Santander coming up in a second.
We got a few of those people waiting. Habs Croatia says, enjoying Sid and Azo over the pond in Croatia. Santander update, s'il vous plaît.
Coming up. Actually, you want to know the last question we got at the College of Sports Media yesterday? A young aspiring broadcaster asked, do you have any updates on Anthony Santander?
It was a perfect close.
That's how I kind of know this is working.
Yeah.
And we do. Coming up at around 2 o'clock. So that was the Raptors story last night. But the biggest Raptors story of the last 24 hours didn't happen until this morning. The game last night was almost irrelevant. And it's not just big for the Raptors, but the rest of the East. Cade Cunningham has been one of the best players in the league outside of Shea for the last couple of seasons in Detroit. Detroit have been one of the most consistent teams in the league. Shams Charania reported this earlier today. Detroit Pistons star and MVP candidate Cade Cunningham has been diagnosed with a collapsed lung.
Whoa.
And is expected to miss an extended period of time, sources tell ESPN. Now, he left a game Tuesday night. All they said was back issues. They didn't give you much. And again, he was in the lineup for Detroit when the Raptors beat them Sunday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Cade Cunningham and the Pistons have, other than OKC, have been the best team in the NBA. They've clearly been the best team in the Eastern Conference. Now, with Jason Tatum back with Boston, we can have a discussion as to who was really going to be the best team in the East. But the Pistons now, listen, Jalen Duren's played well, but he's not Cade Cunningham. And I don't know what that team's going to look like without Cunningham running the offense and doing what he does. He does everything well. Like you name it, he does it. He can shoot a three. He's great from mid-range. He's an assist guy. He's a rebound guy. His defense has completely improved since the first year in the league. He's completely changed on the defensive end. Cunningham's been one of the best players in the league. What does this do, Azzo? If you're the Raptors, if you're Boston, if you're New York, like, did you just get a second win here? Like, I mean, because the Celtics have won 7 of 10. The Knicks have won 7 of 10. Like, there's teams now starting to find themselves with a few weeks left here in the season.
Cleveland, you mentioned them before.
Cleveland, but they're only 5-5 in their last 10. Although they look better.
They did.
I don't want to see Cleveland in the first round. Mm-hmm. They're dangerous. But this is a big time.
It opens up the East totally.
Development in the East.
And what's an extended time? Because there's less than a month left in the season, no?
J. Caro East is wide open. Yeah, I mean, what do the Raptors have? Raptors have 14 games left.
I think Pistons have the same.
Something like that.
Yeah. Like how extended? Like, it's less than a month.
A collapsed lung.
It's not. Yeah, no joking matter.
Like, it has to kind of come back. Like, it's a very complicated thing. So
Cade's a physical player too, right? Like, the Pistons play pretty physical, so you got to be careful.
I don't know what to say. I just I hope he comes back. It's completely wide open as to what they're thinking. And because Cade Cunningham has been one of those guys who's played a lot of games, like in a league where some of the top stars are complete babies and are not responsible in any way, shape, or form. Cade Cunningham's been there a lot, and he's played. And he played on some bad teams. But he was there for the Detroit Renaissance last year, and he was there this year when they're looking really good.
They're viewed as a legit contender.
100%.
Can we pour some Elser for Detroit sports fans? Losing Larkin and that team going off, and now Cade Cunningham.
Oh, Dylan Larkin.
Or Dylan Larkin.
You're throwing Dylan Larkin and Cade Cunningham? Yeah.
Well, for Detroit sports fans.
Maybe.
You thought the Red Wings were going to make the playoffs for the first time in a decade, and now they might not. Well,
I mean, that Tarek Skubal only pitched once in the WBC. Hopefully he stays healthy.
Yeah, exactly.
The Tigers have Framber Valdez, Justin Verlander's back. They got Tarek Skubal. Tigers will make everything better, Azzo. And who knows if Cade Cunningham comes back? You never know. Anyway, that was a significant story today. Mm-hmm. Significant.
For the Eastern Conference, sure is.
Frankie in the chat, Raptors. So you're saying there's a chance.
I put that up before.
Oh, sorry, I missed
that.
No,
I know what you're talking.
Okay. Any other NBA stuff? I want to dive into Gary Bettman's comments.
That was the biggest news. Yeah, let's go.
Okay. So Gary Bettman did eventually speak yesterday at the end of the GM meetings down in Palm Springs, Florida. And I have some stories that kind of leaked out from him. But also, I have 2 clips of Bettman. He spoke to E.J. Radick of NHL Network. So Bettman was first asked about the heat that the Department of Player Safety is taking after the Auston Matthews, Radko Gudas situation. Now, as you hear this clip, I want you to think about one thing. Let me know if at any point in this you hear the commissioner of the National Hockey League sound in any way, shape, or form upset that one of his best players got cheap shotted. Listen to this.
Department of Player Safety does a great job. The process we use is something that we've reviewed, negotiated, put in place with the Players Association. And there's always, reactions to whatever decisions the Department of Player Safety makes. There are always going to be people that are unhappy on both sides of the equation. The fact is, Gudas hasn't been suspended in 7 years, so all this talk about what kind of player he is, I think, has been a little blown up. I think it's unfortunate that Auston Matthews was hurt. We wish him a speedy recovery. But at the end of the day, we don't have an epidemic of kneeing suspensions. I think there have been 18 kneeing suspensions, knee on knee, in the last 15 years. You'd like none, but this is a fast physical game, and it happens. But Department of Player Safety, George Paros in particular, does a really good job. But he's not running a popularity contest, which is something I understand firsthand.
Yeah, if anyone knows about unpopularity, it's Gary Bettman. Notice how Bettman also didn't mention, when talking about how, Gudas isn't a repeat offender, took out Sidney Crosby like 3 weeks ago, or whatever it was. But I digress.
Can I add one quick thing to that?
Go ahead.
Did you hear Jonas Siegel on Overdrive last night?
No, what was he saying?
You know what Gudas' nickname is around the league? The Butcher.
The Butcher.
The Butcher. Takes guys out, I guess. Like, it sounds like how violent does that sound?
To me, if I'm George Paros and a file ever comes across my desk with someone nicknamed the Butcher, that's immediately 4 games.
Right? You can't have a nickname like that and be considered a good player. Like, come on.
Okay, the next case, George, it's Bob Hack the Neck Murphy. No priors, though. It's fine.
Yeah, no, this guy doesn't have a history.
Nothing
at
in the
all.
last 18 months, so he's fine.
He's clean.
Bob Hack the Neck Murphy, 1 game. But Bettman does not seem overly bothered, is my point.
Yeah.
To a gold medal winning captain, or Sidney Crosby for that matter. Now, Crosby it wasn't under his jurisdiction, I understand. But did that sound like a bothered guy to you? That Matthews was cheap shotted like that?
But
he has the empathy of a coffee table. Like he is emotionless. And he doesn't give a damn about anything happening up here in Canada. That's obvious as well. And I'll further proof of that coming up about Bettman.
I'm trying not to bring it back to the Leafs because I want to say, did Living sound upset?
It's Matthews.
If the GM of the team
bring it back to the Leafs. I'll bring it back to the Leafs.
No, but did the GM sound upset when he talked? Like, what do you expect the commissioner to do? I don't know. It's crazy.
No, you know what? It's valid. It's valid. If Brad Living and the Leafs are going to put out a firm statement,
then he'd have to respond.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why should Bettman make some harsh statement? So that's the suspension. EJ Raddick of NHL Network also brought up the playoff format, which is gaining, again, a lot of traction from the criticism crowd. And people don't like it. So Gary Bettman said they're actually going to look at it. Just kidding. He loves every second of it.
Look at our first round. I don't think there's anything comparable, anything as entertaining or as exciting in any playoffs anywhere as our first round. We get longer series. We get exciting games. It's worked well. I'm not one of those who's in search of problems we don't have that have to be fixed. You look at the body of work that our playoffs represent, and it has been extraordinary.
JJ in the chat, Bettman works for the owners. If they wanted change, he would push for it. We got to remember that, guys. It's a valid point. Now, Bettman's last line there, let's not look for problems where there are no problems. This is what Bill Guerin recently had to say about the current playoff system. As one of 3 teams involved in the Hunger Games in the Central Division, and we're going to try and fight their way out this year. Arguably the top 3 teams in hockey. Bill Guerin said, quote, "In my opinion, the second best team in the league should not be playing the third best team in the league in the first round," which will happen to someone because the Avs are falling.
Yep.
But it will happen.
It happens every year.
In the Central Division. There is one division every year in the National Hockey League where you're like, really?
Bang on.
Right now, it's Dallas and Minnesota. Minnesota is going to get caught in that regardless. They're not going to catch either one of Dallas or Minnesota, it looks like. But Azo, again, the point no one makes. You heard Gary Bettman there say we have the most exciting first round in hockey. Attention spans across America leave after the first round in hockey. They just do. Their ratings back it up. The eye test backs it up. The NBA playoffs back it up. If you don't like this format, I understand your frustration. And that goes for McDavid. There are some high-profile people that are speaking out about this over the last several years. Sure. I understand that. You have to, from a business standpoint, realize what the league are trying to do. You can't be that obtuse. You can't. And from that angle, I rarely say this, I think I kind of agree with Gary Bettman here. Do I 100% like it? No. But does it give the NHL a ratings advantage early? Especially, and actually, the second round is even better because it's not like the first and second rounds of the NBA playoffs are some glorious thing anymore. There are blowouts all the time. So they're just trying to take advantage of that.
It's also a little bit regional too, right?
It's super regional.
Right?
Yeah. Well, that's why they like it. But some of these matchups get so vicious they go national. Is what they're hoping for.
So let me ask you this. If you're a good team, like obviously if you think you're a true championship contender, you got to go through everybody anyway, right? At some point.
Correct.
Would you rather kind of have your team out early? So if they have to recover for next year, they have some more time off, do a deep run and be hurt.
So you'd rather lose early than be the Oilers and just exhaust.
Can you tell I'm a Leafs fan?
Yeah, exactly.
First year. We'll be healthy. We'll get them next year.
Exactly. JJ again in the chat. TV networks love the first round and especially competitive matches of the best teams. Games every single night and multiples at that. Well, there's always games every single night. Doesn't matter what the format is. You're going to have a lot of games early.
And if you pique the interest in the first round, maybe they actually come back for the second round.
That's what they're hoping.
Yeah.
That's what they're definitely hoping for.
That's easy.
Because ESPN and TNT do a good job leaning into that first round. Like, and depending on the matchups, you get some good pub on it. You definitely do.
Let me throw something out. What if they change the format every, like, say, World Cup cycle, like every 4 or 5 years? Would you be down with that? Like, what do you mean? You do this format for 4 or 5 years, then for the next 4 or 5 years, you go 1 to 8, and then for the next 4 or 5 years, you go 1 to 16.
What would that? What would that do?
Just to change it up so people could shut up, because we talk about this every year, and it's annoying.
The shut up rule.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't hate it
because everybody's going to find a problem with whatever. Like it's going to be the travel if you go 1 to 16, if you go 1 to 8. So what about you just mix it up and like do a cycle of every 4 or 5 years, you do a different format, and it keeps teams interested and in a different, you face somebody different, at least in the next 4 or 5 years.
Jay Force in the chat, rotation playoffs, every year change. Bettman style, 1v8 style, total league, 1v16 style.
I would even do it for multiple years.
No, but you know what? Just because everyone's complaining, do it every way. And then when they don't win the cup in either format, they shut the hell up.
Right.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that, Jeff Azapard. Called the shut up format.
Yes.
Just make a shut up. So those are the clips from Bettman that I got. Hopefully they enraged you as we hoped they would. But some other stories came out of the GM meetings from inside the room that are pretty interesting. This one got my attention, and it involves Eric Tulsky, the GM / fantasy hockey owner of the Carolina Hurricanes. And this is apparently Eric Tulsky of the Canes, who are like one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference this year, got into it with Bettman over headshots. And this is from the article. According to league sources, Hurricanes GM Eric Tulsky raised the ire of Bettman when he suggested the standard had slipped on headshots. The commissioner is said to have retorted that it was Tulsky's team owner, Tom Dundon, who was making him bring that up. Whatever the case, managers were buzzing after the meetings about it. Tulsky, as it turns out, was a busy man. Sources inside the room confirmed late Wednesday afternoon. He also raised concerns over the shifting standard of goalie interference / video review in lieu of the Verbeek conversation, seeking clarity on it as well. Look, if you're a GM at the GM meetings and you don't like the rules, like you have an owner and a board of governor, go vote on it. That's the first thing. Second, Eric Tulsky, with respect, listen, 10 years ago, headshots were an epidemic. I actually think the league has done a pretty good job trying to rein that in.
Yep.
So I don't know what he's talking about. And secondly, Eric Tulsky will not be in the league in 5 years, so I don't care what he thinks. I don't care what he thinks. Go make another deal for NetJazz and then try and cover your rear end. I think it's the most irrelevant franchise in the National Hockey League. They're lucky they're in a bad division. And I don't care what this guy thinks. This guy will not be in the league will not be in the league in 5 years. I do not care what Eric Telsky thinks. That thing that happened last trade deadline was small time
Last two trade
and
deadlines.
amateur hour, and everyone's like, no, Telsky knew what he's doing. No. Get out of here.
Isn't it a
Get
couple?
out of here.
It's a couple trade deadlines in a row now where people have said no to going there. No,
Yeah, a few.
right? Like there's been way more than one.
What would history be like if they got Elias Pettersson 2 deadlines ago?
Yeah.
What would the National Hockey League look like? I don't know. JT Miller would still be in Vancouver. Quinn Hughes might still be in Vancouver. Rick Tocchet might still be in Vancouver.
How does Vancouver?
You
fans
never
feel about
know.
that? That's
Vancouver, you should have been praying for Eric Telsky to pull that
true.
out. Praying.
The goalie interference thing I'll hear on because that rule always seems to change depending on the game. Didn't Dubas go off on that like a couple weeks ago?
Oh, listen, that one's just getting weird.
Yeah.
That one I half agree with. Yes, that one's getting weird in terms of interpretation. And there was the Senators' goal that everyone was talking about. That one I'll hear. The headshots, guys, it's a lot better than it used to be. It's not perfect. It's a lot better than it used to be.
My biggest
Don't
problem
do
with
that.
Bettman is like, can't you just say once in a while, like, okay, we'll examine and we'll talk about it? Like, it's always, no, we're good. Like, everything's working perfectly.
That's what bothers me the most about every Bettman clip. Everything's fine.
We're great. Nah, we got to process.
I don't know about that.
We got to process.
By
and
the
it's
way,
good.
but this stuff with Telsky's interesting in that, like, is this the culture behind the scenes if you disagree with Gary? Is that the deal?
apparently.
No wonder the Leafs don't want to say anything publicly.
Well, that's what I was about to say again.
Yeah, if I'm still the Leafs, I'm still saying something publicly.
You have
but
to.
But if Napoleon is getting on you behind the scenes like that, goodness gracious.
We've always heard that
Like, that's
about
not
Gary,
good.
right?
What's that?
We always heard that about Gary.
Yeah, of course. He looks up and yells at you.
Didn't he have a beef with Sportsnet for how many years where he wouldn't go on until they signed the
He
deal
ba-
to
he-
get the rights back?
He barely saw their studio until like 2 years ago.
Until they signed the contract.
Whatever it was.
When they bought the rights.
The guy's not up here. He's never up here. Hellbent PH in the chat. Put Sid in charge of player safety. I'd have a field day with that. You appeal all you want. You know what? Minimum 10-game suspensions for everyone, then appeal.
Yeah.
Then I'll bring it down to 9. Go ahead. Appeal.
Can I be in the department?
Go ahead.
Who's in the department?
You're my number 2.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you know what? Just for the hell of it, we keep George Peros.
Yeah, make
George
him number
Peros
3.
does. So here's the one from the GM meetings that I'm trying to wrap my head around. And it's another report from Michael Russo in association with Pierre LeBrun in The Athletic. Russo's on a heater here. And LeBrun's doing some good work too, man. So they were talking about TV rights for the World Cup of Hockey in 2028. Did you hear about this?
No, I don't think so.
So I was always under the impression this tournament from a TV perspective in 2028 being held in February, it's going to be a great time slot again for the NHL in Prague, Calgary, Edmonton. I think it's going to be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But I was always under the impression that Rogers here in Canada and TNT and ESPN in the States got the tournament. Guess what? The league are going to market with those rights, and they are not automatically giving them to Rogers, TNT, and ESPN.
The regular rights holders.
The regular rights holders. So this is
did see
this is the way it looked in the article per the report of Russo and Pierre LeBrun. NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman also provided some insight as to how the league plans to sell the World Cup to broadcast partners. The World Cup will not be sold as part of the league's full media rights packages with ESPN, TNT Sports, and Rogers Communications in Canada, or its European partners for that matter. Instead, the tournament will be sold separately, allowing for numerous possibilities. According to The Athletic, Bettman said the league and union plan to take the broadcast rights for the tournament to market immediately to start the bidding process. Said Bettman, quote, "We think there will be robust interest and hopefully robust bidding." Now, in terms of the United States television situation with the NHL, their rights end in, I believe, 2028, the end of that season, with TNT and ESPN. I think the league would be crazy to move off TNT, considering the job they've done and the job Bissonnette has done.
Dove right in from the first year and we're amazing.
Bissonnette has saved it.
Yep.
And he has brought out the best in everyone around him. And on top of that, they know how to produce sports at Turner and TNT. They know what they're doing. ESPN, not as crazy about it. I have to be honest with you. I'm not as crazy on their coverage. Other than Ray Ferraro, who I love, I'm not over the moon about how they've done their hockey. TNT makes headlines. TNT is what you want to see the next day in the clips on your timeline. Now, in terms of ESPN and TNT, I am surprised that they're just not getting this tournament. And clearly, the NHL isn't happy with something in that contract. Do they want to play footsie with Netflix and Amazon and Apple TV? Probably. So you can make an argument to me that this move in the States makes sense. Rogers just gave the National Hockey League $11 billion.
Yep.
Now, you don't hear a lot of people arguing for the financial well-being of Rogers Communications. But what the hell is that? At $11 billion, you're not giving the 2028 World Cup immediately to Rogers? Have you lost your mind? There must be people freaking out in those hallways. That's insanity. That's a level of disrespect I can barely put into words. $11 billion, and I don't automatically get the World Cup in 2028? Do I think it's going to go to Sportsnet eventually? Of course. But you got to pay up. Sorry, I got to pay more. Yeah. I got to pay more. Ed and Tony have to pay more. Are you kidding me? Gary Bettman will spit on this country at every turn, whether it's Matthews' injury, whether it's playoff format, whether it's this contract with Rogers. That's nuts. That's nuts. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, well, TSN can get it. Yeah, TSN have amazing hockey people. Of course they can get it. The streets are talking on what TSN might look like after that World Cup and who might own it. I'll leave it at that. But the streets are talking. So I don't think TSN is going to jump in there and bell BCE and pay Gary what he wants. I think they do a hell of a job with that tournament, but I don't think that's going to happen. $11 billion from Rogers, and they don't get the World Cup automatically? That is a joke. That is a joke. And I know how insane it is to argue that financially Rogers just got screwed. I know you don't hear that a lot. That's a pretty successful company. I almost fell off my chair when I read that. I would be going nuts. I would be going nuts if I was Rogers and that was the case. Now, maybe there's some side deal already and we don't know about it. Probably. But if they go to Netflix in Canada or Amazon or some other spot.
This is Gary just getting too ambitious, wanting to be on par with the NFL. He looks at what the NFL does in the States and sells off all these games to different streaming platforms. Like, this is the world we live in now, right? It's through streaming platforms paying for stuff.
Like to go.
But he wants to be the NFL. He wants to stream on all different platforms and make people pay and be in bed with all these big companies.
But at the risk of pissing off your $11 billion rights holder?
What does he care? He's got that money now.
He does. You're right. I can't argue that. But that's like, there's some ethics involved in that, isn't there?
I would think so.
Like, give me a break, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's nuts. Jay Caro in the chat, to go with what you just said, Ezra, look what Netflix just paid for WWE Money Talks. I'm with you. Money Talks. So $11 billion doesn't talk?
Should get you something.
$11 billion doesn't get me a 2-week tournament in 2028? Yeah. But I have to drop everything for some draft that no one cared about after 4 picks? I got to drop everything. Holy cow, man.
No hometown discount for Canada, that's for sure.
That is dirty pool from Bettman. I'm sorry.
I agree.
That is dirty.
But we know he wants to be like the NFL, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
The United States situation, I kind of get that. What on earth is that with the Canadian rights holder? That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I just wanted to get that off my chest. Fab in the chat. Bettman hates Canada. I think so.
Yeah.
I think he does.
Very fair.
He can't wait for Brady Tkachuk and Auston Matthews to get out of here. Can't wait.
Oh, you want to talk about some Canadian players? I can't wait for this one.
Wow.
Let's talk about some more American-born hockey players.
Oh, Jack Hughes.
Your boy.
Let's do Jack
Your boy
Hughes.
did you dirty yesterday.
Okay, so no, I'm standing by everything I said yesterday, friend.
Well, Jack isn't.
Oh, really? That's what you think happened last night?
Yeah, I do.
No, we have the clip.
Let's go.
We have the clip. So let's do this. For those of you who might have missed yesterday's show, in the middle of it, we got word, not in the middle of it, we knew coming in, that there was an issue with Jack Hughes and the gold medal winning puck from the Olympics.
Thank you, Greg Wyshynski.
Greg Wyshynski did a great interview with Jack Hughes, and Jack's like, what the hell? I want it from my dad. They won't give it to me. Now, I went on air and defended Jack Hughes. I was one of the few in Canada. I couldn't believe it. I was one of the few in this country to defend Jack Hughes. And I couldn't believe I was on the type of island. I don't mind being on islands. I'm on islands all the time.
All the time.
I'm Weezer, Island in the Sun. No problem. But I couldn't believe people, for the most part, was like, Jack Hughes, shut up. Now, the funny part is, as you and I are arguing yesterday about Jack Hughes and the Hockey Hall of Fame, no word of a lie, Azo and I got invited to a Hockey Hall of Fame party. I don't know if that invitation is still
I think
pending.
my name would only be on the list.
I think your name is still on it. I don't know if my name is still on it.
I agree.
So there were a couple of quotes after that, and let's start with Phil Pritchard. Phil Pritchard, the keeper of the cup, Johnny White Gloves guy. Everyone knows Phil Pritchard. I met Phil a couple times. Very pleasant guy. Extremely nice guy. And he does great work. Does a lot of work. It's a great gig if you can get it.
It is.
It's a great gig.
Follow the cup around?
Keeper of the cup.
The stories that guy has
The
to tell.
stories that guy cannot
The
tell.
book? When he has a book, I'm definitely buying it.
100%. So Greg Wyshynski, who's been the tip of the spear on this story, says, I want to call up Phil Pritchard, who owns the gold medal winning puck from both men's and women's gold medal games of the Olympics. And he got Phil Pritchard on the phone. And Wyshynski's like, so what do you think, Phil? So Philip Pritchard said this about Jack Hughes and the puck and the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto owning it. Quote, unfortunately, in the easiest words, it was never Jack's puck to own. It's been donated to us now. For every artifact that's been donated, and this was donated by the IIHF, we have a paper trail and signed paperwork of where it's come from. Phil Pritchard went on to say the following. Items are formally transferred to the hall through the IIHF's established artifact donation process. I feel like it's George Peros telling me this. And added into our permanent collection. These artifacts are preserved, exhibited, and shared with fans worldwide through our museum and international outreach programs, ensuring that defining Olympic and World Championship moments are preserved and remain accessible to the global hockey community. Part of being a nonprofit registered charity in Canada is it becomes kind of a legal document that we've received it as a donation. We've insured it. We've preserved it. We conserved everything. It becomes part of our institution. So that is Johnny White Gloves guy, Phil Pritchard from the Hall of Fame. And that is the technical aspect of how they argue, no, Jack Hughes, you're not getting the puck. That's our puck. That's not your puck. That's our puck.
You have more? I have another quote from him, too.
Go ahead.
Part of that, too.
Phil Pritchard.
Yeah, Phil Pritchard.
Yeah.
We try to take the emotion out of it. We're here to preserve a game that Jack's lucky enough to play or we're lucky enough to work in.
Whoa.
That's why the Hockey Hall of Fame Museum exists as an institution. We're preserving the game of the past, present, and the future.
Okay. Okay.
That to me was
All
the
right.
biggest quote.
I
Take
didn't-
the emotion out of it.
I didn't know that he was riding a high horse during the quote, but I do now hearing the end.
Right?
Yes.
I said he buckled up.
Oh yeah, he strapped in, Phil. He put the gloves on for that quote.
Definitely.
Wyshynski called. Phil goes, hold on a second. Gloves on.
Give me a second.
Like a Power Ranger.
Yeah.
Here we go. So that's Phil Pritchard in the Hall of Fame stands. There was also a quote that was garnered by the Athletics' Devin Henderson from Sidney Crosby himself. Now, Sidney Crosby's name came up a lot about the golden goal. Sidney Crosby didn't ask for the puck back. True. He didn't. This is what Sidney Crosby said. Quote, I didn't even think about it that way, to be honest with you. I was just happy that I scored the goal. I was happy that the puck was going to the Hall of Fame. I didn't even think about it that way.
It's a Canadian.
Typical Crosby response.
Captain.
Would expect nothing less.
Team Canada captain,
Nothing
baby.
less. So, after the Devils went into MSG last night and beat the Rangers, one of the questions posed to Jack Hughes was, what did you make of the puck thing? Now, the funny part, for those watching on X and YouTube, Wyshynski is in the background. You can actually see Greg Wyshynski grinning as this topic is brought up.
Amazing.
Which is great. He did the legwork. And Azo claims this was a backtrack by Jack Hughes. I don't think it was much of a backtrack at all by Jack Hughes. We'll let you be the judge. Did Jack Hughes backtrack on the give me my puck movement last night in New York?
And obviously honored that the puck's there. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's like the most special place in hockey. So yeah, I mean, I'm honored that it's there, but obviously I think things were taken, crazy. Like, just that's the way I felt. And I didn't know where the puck was, so it is what it is.
See, I still think that guy wants the puck.
That's the way I felt.
Yeah.
Past present. So he's changed his mind.
No, that's not how I read it.
He just wants it in the American History Hall of Fame or something. Like, we got it here in Toronto.
Wait a second.
He said that's the way I felt, meaning he changed his mind.
So a couple things. Again, Phil Pritchard I like a lot.
And he's happy.
And he's a great
there.
guy.
Yeah.
If Sidney Crosby were to have one day asked for that puck back, would that be the answer he gave Crosby? What answer would he give Crosby? I was once told by a lawyer possession is 9/10 of the law. Who's the last person to possess that puck on the ice during the game? It was Jack Hughes.
But then he gave it away.
Wait a second.
Because he
didn't give it away. It was taken by the IIHF. Let's remember the paper trail, that apparently the paper trail exists from the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Should have fought it at the
If
moment.
Sidney Crosby would have asked for the puck back, would Phil Pritchard have given that type of answer? Yes or no?
I don't know.
Oh, I know. I think I know. You don't know?
Yeah.
You don't know? I think I know. Who possesses it now? 2 point in the chat. Right now, it's in the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto.
So why didn't Jack fight it when they did take it?
Because he didn't know they took it. He was celebrating. I don't know if you noticed they won the tournament. But
to your point
his
yesterday,
feeling is not to get the puck.
You know what baseball players do as soon as they get that hit or whatever? They go get the ball right away. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Put it away.
But there are also people
Binnington
next
tried to
the
steal it right after the goal.
It was chaos after they won. You saw it. I saw it. It was chaos.
So he didn't really care about it all that much.
I'm pretty sure in all the paperwork that Phil Pritchard has, Jack Hughes hasn't signed any of it.
There must be an agreement. They know it's the IIHF.
IIHF.
Yeah.
Like
there has to be an agreement where they know that. No?
Listen, I'm just saying if Crosby or some other Canadian had a similar issue, and they might going forward, you never know. I'd like to see if that's the response they give.
But I've seen that too. Guys score and automatically go for the puck. They want it. They want it that bad.
Jack Hughes is being spoken of here like he did nothing and deserved nothing. He had one of the moments of the year in sports.
For sure.
Okay. And I think the disrespect is getting a little out of hand with that.
Oh.
I do. I think there are hockey people in this country that need to know a little bit better. And because we don't like the States, no. We claim to be the smartest hockey people in the world. Let's act like it. Let's act like it. That's a hell of a moment. Jack Hughes is not a nobody. And these quotes, these really condescending things, I don't think are fair. I think they're a little offside, and they're not fair. And look, I don't think Jack Hughes is getting the puck back. But my issue is, look, at the end of the day, the Hockey Hall of Fame's charging people to go inside it.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who go there.
Right? So they love this story because, quite frankly, I had no idea this exhibit existed at the Hall of Fame prior to this week's story from Wyshynski. I had no clue. This is the most publicity they've gotten in years. And I just have a hard time with you earning money through a gate and through ticket sales on something, on a puck, and then claim holier than thou ownership of it on the other side. Is it capitalism or is it not capitalism? Yeah. What is it?
It's fair.
I don't like that flip-flop. Jack Hughes wants it for his old man, his family. He doesn't want to sell it on eBay. Like, what do you think he wants it? It's a big moment for that family. It's a big moment for USA Hockey.
They take the emotion out of it, Sid. Come on.
If you're selling tickets to see the exhibit, your modus operandi is a little shady too. Okay? Let's not act. My only issue with all of this, let's not act like everyone's not being a little selfish here.
Sure.
And I don't know, and they say donation from the IIHF. Did someone's wheels get greased? I have no idea. There is money flowing through the Hockey Hall of Fame. I got news for you.
Yeah.
Look at the revenues going the last 2 or 3 years. So I think Jack Hughes needs a little more respect than that. The moment needs a little more respect than that. And if that were Canadian asking that, what would be the response from the Hockey Hall of Fame, who was charging admission to see this exhibit? That's all I'm thinking. Let's just be real about the situation. This is not the Vatican, okay? Like, this is the Hockey Hall of Fame. You got to pay to go in. There's people from all across the country and some parts of the world, I get it, who go in. And it's cool. And I get it. And I loved it. I haven't been there in a while, but I loved it. But the disrespect on Jack Hughes getting a bit much. That was a hell of a moment. If you are the Hall of Fame, you got to respect that too. It's not, here's the puck, great moment in hockey history, shut the hell up. Can't be that.
No.
But that's what it is. That whole thing from Pritchard was that. The whole thing was condescending and a little offside to me. You could have ended it at, listen, we got a donation. That's how we normally do things. I'm sorry. I will talk to Jack some other time and we'll figure something out. But like, it wasn't that. It was very high horse. Very high horse. And now for sure I'm not going to get invited to the Hockey Hall of Fame party.
Somebody wrote in that you're banned already.
Banned. Or
the breaking news: Sid Seixeiro banned of Sick Media is banned from the Hockey Hall of Fame.
I get an exhibit in the truth section.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing, right? To that point exactly, you can make a display without the puck, and maybe you borrow it from Jack once in a while, right? You let him give it to his old man. In all seriousness, you can always make it work. There'll be that picture of Jack. That was the picture after.
Why can't you share it? Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
why can't you share it?
So then you bring it on a tour. Maybe it's a way to get more people in because the puck's there. I don't know. And you have it in the Hockey Hall of Fame. So Jack's legend lives. You can tell kids who come in and watch it and you see it. But there's always a deal that can be worked out here. You're right. Could they have not have asked him? Could he not have presented it to his old man, let him keep it for a few months, then send it? Like, who knows? You can always work out it. Have you ever watched that A&E show on WWE when they go track down old like
I've caught it now and again.
It's great.
It looks like it's one of those shows I kind of wish.
But then they put it on display for a bit and then they give it back, or they work out a deal with the guy to buy it from him, or they rent it out. Like, you can always work out a deal, and the display doesn't always have to have the puck. Right. That's the cool thing about the Hockey Hall of Fame. You can have different displays and different times where different things are in there.
It's true.
So, yeah, I hear you. I hear what you're saying on it, and he does deserve a bit more respect. He should have been included in on the conversation. I agree on that part.
Muskoka Matt loves the segment. Guys, this is such a dumb segment. I hear it.
It was everywhere yesterday.
By the way, one of my favorite comments of the day, someone simply wrote, MIF wrote, only 5 minutes left, guys. Okay, let's get to the soccer picture that I sent you, and then we'll wrap it up. We're going to throw up... actually, before we do the last story, once again, shout out to Betway. We mentioned it early in the show. There's a sign now over my left shoulder here for those watching on X and YouTube, and for those listening on the pod. Betway have decided to join the Sid Seixeiro Show, powered by Sick Media team. Azo's excited. Sick Media is excited. I am excited. And once again, we want to thank Betway for jumping on here. It's an incredible time of year to jump on with Betway. Puck drops, tip-offs, first pitches. When the game is on, you call the shots. Head to betway.ca and bet your way. Must be 19 plus. Play responsibly. Jith in the chat. Do Azo and Sid have March Madness picks? Hashtag Betway. Congrats on the new sponsor. We do, actually.
Well,
we do.
Just go download the Betway app. Maybe you'll see you'll see somebody's face in there. Go check it out. Check out the app. Get familiar with the app.
There you go.
That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, so one last thing. You know, we've been kind of following this Italian soccer story. Next week is their playoff to get into the World Cup. Italy have to win 2 straight games starting next week. They play Northern Ireland next Thursday at home in Bergamo, at Atalanta's home ground. There should be a good atmosphere. It's a good stadium. And then they got to beat either Bosnia-Herzegovina or Wales to be in Canada's group and open up the World Cup against Canada June the 12th. The stakes for Canadian soccer fans here, to me, are almost the same as Italian soccer fans. You got to be watching that next week. In terms of where it is, I think it's a DAZN game. I think you got to be on DAZN.
No, don't.
Yeah. Oh, I'm good. I've been riding with DAZN for a long time.
I know.
But that happens next Thursday. Italy have won 7 of their last 8 games. I know a lot of people, including myself, have kind of dumped on them a little bit internationally. But they did make a run to try and qualify automatically. The game they lost was at home at the San Siro against Norway, and they got destroyed. There was a player who wasn't on the field for them that day against Norway, and it's Newcastle midfielder Sandro Tonali. Sandro Tonali has been on the field for Italy for their previous 7 wins. He's turning into an outstanding midfielder, and he's a big reason why Newcastle got into the Champions League a year ago out of the Premier League. Yesterday, against Barcelona in the Champions League, he suffered an injury scare, and he had to leave the game, and there was a lot of initial fearful speculation about Sandro Tonali and his place in Italy's midfield next Thursday against Northern Ireland. I can tell you this, and this is the absolute latest. I didn't even know this was the report. Reports in Italy claim that medical tests undergone by Sandro Tonali have ruled out muscle injuries. So they've ruled it out. So the Azzurri star will be available for next week's World Cup playoff semifinal against Northern Ireland. The MRI scan on Tonali underwent on Thursday ruled out any muscle injuries. This, according to Gazzetta dello Sport, which is the publication in Italy. So that could have been a problem for Italy. I'm not saying they still don't have one. I think Italy's getting through. But you need Tonali on the field. Again, we don't know if he's going to be 100% for that. We'll see. Muscle injuries and soccer players don't mix. Not a good thing. But Italy, at least on the surface, will have Tonali in their midfield next Thursday. Azzo, any last-second Italian soccer takes?
No. But since we're on soccer, I think we have time for one more story. Do you want to update the Senegal thing?
Oh, absolutely.
Because we can do 1 or 2 stories. It's either Senegal or Santander.
Let's do Senegal. Let's do Senegal. We'll do both, actually.
Okay.
So yesterday, I told you the story of how Senegal were stripped of their African Cup of Nations win in January because they went off the field for like 10 to 15 minutes in protest, and it was ruled that was a forfeit. Senegal won the game in added time, but this week, the African Federation gave Morocco, who lost the game, a 3-0 win. It was a shocking development, and it's probably going to go to the Court of Arbitration for Sport. As you might expect, the Senegal Soccer Federation pissed, super pissed, and they used a lot of words in this statement. Senegal's government has called for an independent international investigation into corruption into African football after this statement and the ruling. The statement by Senegal goes on to say, by calling into question a result achieved at the end of a match that was properly played and won in accordance with the rules of the game, the CAF, African Federation, seriously undermines its own credibility. Senegal unequivocally rejects this unjustified attempt at dispossession. An independent international investigation into suspected corruption with the CAF, African Federation's governing bodies, is needed. No immediate response from the CAF. So, as you might expect, Senegal's upset. And if I was told I lost the game I won, I'd be upset too. All right. Any last second thoughts here, Azam?
Well, I was going to say I do like the Azzurri blue, but you know what I like better? The Sid Seixeiro blue. Let's go.
All right. Sickattire.com for those listening.
Or check out the link in YouTube.
Check out the link in YouTube. Azzo's just put up, is that a baby blue Sid Seixeiro Show hoodie? Oh my God. Oh, you're wearing it. Look, I don't notice a thing today, man.
You made me put this on because it has your name on it.
I didn't make you put it on. You put that on willingly.
Anyway.
Well, you are a liar face.
One more comment from the chat.
Yeah, go on.
Marco says the show is sold out to the betting machine. Yeah, you're right. Corporate Azzo's here. I'm taking over. We're
corporate. This is all corporate Azzo's fault. He's gonna be wearing a tie next week.
That's it.
He's changed, man. One question at the College of Sports Media, and he has changed completely. All right, Azzo, good stuff, man.
That's fun.
Appreciate you. Good luck with your brackets, everybody. Based on what I'm seeing, like I don't want to say this too soon. I think I'm winning the pool. Shout out TCU, who are now losing. Damn it! I didn't even know they were losing. The TCU were still up on Ohio State. Our apologies. We wanted to get to the Anthony Santander story, but we ran out of time. On behalf of Jeff Azzopardi and everyone here at Sick Media, my name is Sid. You've been watching and listening to the Sid Seixeiro Show, powered by Sick Media. Enjoy the rest of your day. Good luck with your brackets. Let's see what tomorrow brings. Take care. We'll talk soon.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow The Sid Seixeiro Show on YouTube, X, Instagram, Facebook, and wherever you get your podcasts.